Good morning, students. Standard 9, Subject History, Chapter 4, Economic Development, Module 5. Students, so far we have learned about India's economy and the setting up of Planning Commission to bring about economic development post-independence. We learned about the 5-year plans made by Pandit Nehru and later Srimati Indira Gandhi. Then we also learnt about the short-term plans called as the rolling plan, the various policies and programs developed, monitored, and executed meticulously within each 5-year plan by the Planning Commission of India. In today's module, we shall learn about the remaining 3 5-year plans, namely the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th 5-year plan. The 7th 5-year plan. This plan came into effect from 1985, lasted up to 1990. This plan sought to emphasize policies and programs which would accelerate the growth in food grains production. This plan laid stress on food, employment, and productivity. The objectives of this plan included development, modernization, self-reliance, social justice, improving the techniques of production to achieve an increase in national income of 5% and increase in food grain production. The following programs were started in the plan: Jawahar Rozgar Yojana, Indira Awas Yojana, also 10 lakh wells, building of 10 lakh wells. There was a need to generate employment opportunities for the educated youth in rural areas. The expansion of education and health facilities would open up job opportunities, and the spread of credit institutions and other developmental activities would create opportunities for self-employment. By the end of the 7th plan, there was a decline in the proportion of the population below the poverty line, and with the reduction in the backlog of unemployment, there was a significant increase in the demand for food articles and for many manufactured consumer goods and services. 1989 to 1991 was the period of political instability in India, and hence no 5-year plan was implemented. So the 8th-year plan began in the year 1992 and the planning was done up to the year 1997. Between 1992 and 1990, I beg your pardon, between 1990 and 1992, there were only annual plans. The situation of the country at that time, in 1989 up to 1991, was a period of economic and political instability, hence no 5-year plan was implemented. There was unemployment, there was also underemployment. Underemployment means when a person is highly qualified but doing a very menial, low job. Then the Indian intervention in the Sri Lankan Civil War. Later on, assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. We have learned about this in the second lesson, if you remember. Demolition of the Babri Masjid. Then there were terrorist activities in Jammu and Kashmir. And there was severe shortage of finances. There was a cash crunch. So what was there in the plan? What were the aims and objectives? The Main aims and objectives that were laid down for this 8th five-year plan were: modernization of industries was a major highlight, controlling the population growth, poverty reduction, employment generation, strengthening the rural infrastructure, improving literacy rate, human resource development, maintaining growth rate at 6.5%, and stress was also laid on energy development. During the 8th five-year plan, the importance of the private sector grew. This plan proved to be a reflection of the liberalization, privatization, globalization, and free market policy adopted in 1991. Sri Narasimha Rao was leading the country at that time. He was the Prime Minister. The plan had the following features: developing rural health infrastructure, controlling communicable diseases, safe drinking water supply and sanitation, maintaining the rate of growth in national income at 6.5%, controlling the growth of population, encouraging the program of family planning, trying to remove illiteracy by expanding the primary education. The following programs were started during this plan. Let us see what are the programs. They were Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana, Mahila Samriddhi Yojana, Rashtriya Samajik Arthik Sahaya Yojana, Midday Meal Scheme, Indira Mahila Yojana, the Ganga Kalyan Yojana. Let us now come to the final five-year plan. That was the 9th five-year plan. It was launched in the 50th year of India's independence. The year 1997 marked the 50 years of India gaining its freedom. So the 9th five-year plan was implemented between 1997 and 2002. At this time, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of India while framing this plan. The plan focused on agriculture and rural development. It laid emphasis on growth with social justice and equality. Some objectives of this plan were accelerating the growth rate of the economy, food and nutritional security for all, controlling the population growth, empowerment of women and socially disadvantaged groups such as the SC/ST, that is the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe class of people, the backward classes, and the minorities. This plan saw a rapid progress in the fields of communication system, service sector, and also construction work, thus taking the country into the new millennium. On the right hand side, you see there is a map of introduction of FDI and FII, which means FDI means foreign direct investment and FII means foreign institutional investors. That is, the foreign investors were allowed to invest and set up industries in India. That was a part of globalization and liberalization policies which was passed on from the Narasimha Rao government to the Atal Bihari Vajpayee government. Some programs that were introduced were Swarna Jayanti Sahakari Rozgar Yojana, Bhagyashri Child Welfare Policy, Raj Rajeshwari Mahila Kalyan Yojana, Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, Jawahar Gram Samruddhi Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, where the emphasis was laid on building highways. Students, In this way, the people of India have conclusively demonstrated their ability to forge a nation united despite its diversity and their commitment to pursue development within the framework of a functioning, vibrant, and highly pluralistic democracy. Our country will realize its full economic potential, and the poorest and the weakest will be able to shape their destiny in an unfettered manner. This will require not only higher rates of growth of productivity or output and employment, but also a special emphasis on all-round human development with stress on social sectors and a thrust on eradication of poverty. On this positive note, we conclude today's module. Please refer to the Word document attached below for notes. Thank you. Have a nice day.